We all think we know how our minds work, right? You see something, your brain takes a mental picture. Simple, obvious. But what if that whole idea, the very foundation of how we think about thinking, is just wrong? So today, we're diving into a really radical theory. It suggests our minds aren't these passive cameras just recording everything. Nope. Instead, they're constantly getting ready for action. We're going to really challenge that whole snapshot idea and explore a totally different way of looking at the mind. Okay, so first things first, let's really get a grip on the traditional view. I mean, it feels right, doesn't it? It feels super obvious. And for centuries, this has pretty much been the default setting in philosophy and science. It's this core idea that our mind just creates these little internal pictures of the outside world. So, to really frame this whole thing, you can think of it like a showdown between two massive ideas. In one corner, you've got the old theory, which our source material calls Encodingism. That's our familiar mind as a camera model. And in the other corner, you have the challenger, Interactivism, which, as you'll see, suggests something way more dynamic. All right, so what is Encodingism exactly? Well, it's the theory that a mental representation is, well, a static thing. Think of it like a code, a computer file, or a photograph in your head that matches something out in the real world. It's basically a spectator model of the mind. Its focus is entirely on the past. It's always asking, okay, what caused this mental picture? It's a really passive, backward-looking way of seeing things. But as intuitive and simple as that all sounds, once you start to poke a few holes in it, the whole thing starts to come apart at the seams. And the source material we're looking at argues that this model isn't just a little off, it has some really, truly fatal flaws. And here they are, three big, killer problems that pretty much unravel this entire idea. First up, you've got the origin problem. Think about it. If every mental picture needs some kind of decoder in your brain to be understood, well, where did the first decoder come from? You just get stuck in this endless loop. Then there's the error problem. If your mind is just a camera, how would you ever know if a picture is wrong or distorted? You can't exactly step outside your own head to compare the snapshot to reality, right? And finally, you have the too many problem. The image of a coffee cup isn't just caused by the cup. It's also caused by light waves, by patterns on your retina, by atoms. This camera model gives us absolutely no way to know which of these zillion causes is the one that's actually being represented. And what's really wild is how bluntly the source material puts it. I mean, this isn't just a gentle critique, it's a complete and total rejection. Calling the dominant theory a failed and even incoherent approach. Wow, that's a bold claim. And it tells you we're going to need a seriously powerful alternative. So, if the old camera model is totally broken, what's the replacement? Well, that brings us to the interactivist model. And this is a complete 180-degree shift in perspective. We're going from a passive mind that just sees to an active mind that does. So, welcome to interactivism. In this model, a representation isn't a static thing at all. It's a dynamic process that comes from an organism's potential for interaction with its environment. So it's not about having a picture of a door handle in your head. It's about your whole system understanding the possibility of turning it. Representation, at its core, is all about action. Okay, so the really crucial point here is that this model just flips everything on its head. First, representation emerges from interaction. The success or failure of an action is what creates truth. Like, did turning the handle work? Yes? Great. Then your brain's implicit prediction was true. Second, this makes the whole process future-oriented. It's not about what caused some sensation in the past. It's all about what actions are possible for you right now. And that means the mind is fundamentally anticipatory. It's always looking ahead. And this metaphor just nails the core difference, doesn't it? Encodingism treats the mind like a spectator, sitting up in the stands, just passively watching the game. But interactivism, it says the mind is a player on the field, constantly anticipating the next move, getting ready to interact with the ball, the other players, the goal, the whole shebang. Okay, so this all sounds great in theory, right? But how could the brain actually pull this off? How does it stay constantly ready for action like that? Well, the answer lies in this really fascinating process that's happening literally every single millisecond. I want you to think of it like this. Behind the scenes of any big show or event, there's a whole setup crew getting everything ready, right? Well, the source material suggests our brain has its very own invisible version of this, a crew that's constantly working to prepare different parts of the brain for whatever task is coming up next. So the technical term for this process is microgenesis, and it's basically this constant real-time process that sets up a brain region's way of working for a specific task. Now, it's not the cognitive task itself, it's the split-second preparation that makes that task even possible. It's like it's fine-tuning a neural circuit to get it ready for action. And this is where it gets really, really powerful. This one single idea, microgenesis, just elegantly explains so many cognitive puzzles that have been around for ages. Like, why do two different things feel similar to us? Because their underlying setup processes in the brain actually overlap. Or why does context totally change how we perceive something? Because all these setup processes are happening at the same time and influencing each other. And learning? How do we learn? We don't just store a new fact like a file. We actually change the setup process itself. It's incredible. Okay, so let's bring this all home. We had the old model, which was just riddled with problems. And now we have this new, dynamic, action-oriented model. So why does the new one win? Let's check the final scorecard. Remember those 3 fatal flaws we talked about? Well, interactivism just knocks them all out. The origin problem? Solved. Representation emerges from action, so it doesn't need to be pre-programmed. The error problem? A failed interaction is an error, one that the system can detect all by itself. No outside comparison needed. And the too many problem? Content isn't defined by an infinite chain of causes, it's defined by an organism's specific potential to interact. It's a total clean sweep. So, in short, all 3 of those fatal flaws? Solved. This gives us a brand new and much more coherent foundation for understanding how the mind actually works. And this leaves us with a huge forward-looking question, especially when you think about AI. For decades, we've been trying to build artificial intelligence based on that old, broken model, just feeding it massive amounts of data to create static representations. But what if our own intelligence isn't built on pictures at all, but on the potential for action? What does that mean for the future of AI? Maybe, just maybe, true intelligence isn't about knowing more, it's about being able to do more. Definitely something to think about.